Hey everybody, Jake here, and today we are checking out the last airbender himself, Aang, in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Now, okay, I gotta practice full transparency here. In Nick Brawl 1, I did not like playing as Aang. Thought he had a weak moveset, couldn't figure out his utility. So I'm kind of happy with what I'm seeing in his recent gameplay showcase here for the sequel. Now, when we look at this footage, you're of course going to notice that there is an immediate kind of general graphical upgrade across the board. And of course, that's to be expected. This game is a sequel, but I wanted to zone in on Aang's gameplay showcase in particular, because I think it really demonstrates the improvements and how the developers are really reimagining a lot of the veterans for this sequel, redesigning their movesets, that kind of thing. So let's dive right in. First off, his moves obviously taken better advantage of all of the elements, whereas in the first game, he really only did airbending outside of a couple very specific moves. And honestly, he just didn't feel like Aang to me, which I think was a core problem in the original game. So let's go through his moves right now. Let's dive into the gritty details. First, Aang has been given an extra jump in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. That gives him an extra layer of aerial mobility, which you would think Aang would have, and further, he can actually dodge out of his up special move now, giving him even more distance, even more recovery ability than he had in the first game. Now, his side special is obviously a new move since side specials weren't even in the first game, so everybody gets something new there, but his neutral special is now an ice shard projectile, whereas in the first game, he did this weird spin staff thing that would like totally halt your momentum. Always thought it felt weird, and Aang didn't even really have a projectile in the first game, so giving him one here feels right. Now, Aang's grounded and aerial down strong attacks take advantage of earthbending, whereas in the first game, those attacks, all of Aang's light moves in the ground and in the air are completely different, but the one I want to call attention to is just this forward light attack. Look at this. Heck yeah, that's some Avatar Aang airbending. And in Nick Brawl 1, that move, he elbowed you. He just would throw an elbow. I also really dig what looks like a strong forward air in this firebending kick, just neat stuff. And before I forget, remember that every character in this game also gets a new ultimate attack, kind of like a final smash. So there are all sorts of new stuff, looking new, looking cool, and I feel like what I get out of watching the showcase comparing the moves is that not only are things new and different, but they're more intentional. I understand how Aang is supposed to play, just kind of elegantly moving around the stage, moving through the air, getting his hits in where he can, trying to dunk on people off stage. It makes sense in my head, and I'm so much more excited to play him now after looking at him this way. Whereas if he was just the same as the first game, I would never pick him up. So that's going to do it for me. But are you impressed with the amount of work being put into Aang in the sequel? I think it's just refreshing to have veterans' movesets looked at, redone, given new care, given new attention. That gets me so excited for this game. But let me know in the comments below how you are feeling. Are there any Aang mains out there? I don't think I'm an Aang main. I think I'm a Danny Phantom main. But I want to hear from you. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.